radiator's red hot.
Put this chair.
That's why I said to him, I'll probably like sweating.
Good job, I turned it off. Okay, we'll start then. Welcome to episode 4 of Not Another Fitness Podcast with my co-host and side piece Becky. And today we have a special episode because I've got two of my amazing clients on, Kelly and Gaz. So first off, thank you both for doing this. First ever guest, I'm excited.
Gaz nearly got knocked out when he walked in.
Yeah.
The ceilings are that low.
It's a good job of sitting down because how tall are you guys?
I don't know, 4, something like that.
6'4". So compared to my 5'6", big difference in it. And you had on the beams and stuff. So we're just going to get straight into it. So Kelly and Gaz are clients of mine and have been since when did you start?
I did the F8 challenge online before we opened the gym.
Which is
was that in lockdown? A couple of years now, definitely.
So that was what, 2020?
2020.
And then before, that was kind of the first time. And then Gaz, you started a little bit after, didn't you?
Yeah.
You started, was it when the gym opened? Or before?
Yeah,
did you do a little bit online?
No, we did that outdoor class.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Friendly Ford.
That was when I moved on to it because everyone kept reporting me, didn't they?
Got kicked out.
So in lockdown, everyone reported me because I was training people outside.
Not everyone.
No, I don't know who it was, but people reported me to the council for training people.
But luckily, we live on the border of many, many councils, so you could work your way around.
Yeah, and they were saying stuff.
Morton, Stoke.
People were saying, I wasn't following the social distancing guidelines and all stuff like that.
No, it wasn't that. You weren't paying the ground rent.
Well, it was that because the council said, all right, if you're using our parks, you've got to pay like an event would. So say they ran an event at a park, you've got to pay that per day, per client, which was a lot of money. And at the time, I was just trying to keep my business going. But
we were literally there for an hour.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it wasn't
like,
I'm setting a business up, an outdoor fitness business. It was like, there was that or nothing, wasn't it? It was outside.
It was COVID and people were trying to keep their heads above water and it was...
Yeah. So anyway, we'll let's kind of start. I want to start like at the beginning of both of your kind of journeys. So like even before you met me, kind of when did you start getting into kind of like this kind of fitness journey, the weight loss stuff? When did that first start?
Well, I had gastric bypass in 2015. 2017, 5 years ago, sorry.
Yeah.
Before that, I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I sort of was on a 2-year journey with a dietitian to get me to that point. And weight came off quite quickly after the bypass, but I didn't do any exercise. So it was good for the food and good to get my weight down, but I wasn't healthy.
So that was all through diet and the dietitian?
It was just because the food was restricted. So I lost, I think it was about 8 stone straight off, didn't I?
So where, if you don't mind me asking, what was your biggest, where did you start?
I was like 24.5 stone.
And that was...
And a bypass, is that when they cut your stomach out, or is it a band?
No, not a band. They actually bypassed the stomach. So it was like keyhole surgery, and they bypassed... my stomach sort of went from the size of a football to an egg. So food was really restrictive. So my weight came off really quickly.
Yeah.
But because I wasn't healthy with I didn't marry it up with the exercise.
But you were eating a lot less.
Yeah.
Because of your diet.
But then as time went on, your restriction changes and you can start eating again. So I did have a bit of a regain. So especially with lockdown, I thought I need to do something. And then I saw online, it's like, all right, do the supercharger, do this, do that. I thought, oh, come on, I can do this now. So did you never
exercise before you started?
I'd go on a walk or I'd do the odd class. But I was go to like say Biddulph Leisure Centre, and a class there would be just women, but dead fit and healthy women. There was nothing for me or nothing that Gaz could come with me.
Yeah.
It was all, he won't go hips, bums and tongues. There was just no way. Are you sure? Maybe. But you wouldn't watch it. Or there was Zumba. There was nothing like where we could do it as a couple.
Yeah.
And we found that as a couple, the only things we would do if we had any spare time was eat and drink.
Yeah.
So you haven't got the kids, what will we do? Eat and drink. A bit of spare money, let's get a takeaway.
Yeah.
We were doing nothing apart from that was just our extracurricular activity, wasn't it? Just go eating or drinking.
So right, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you still do that now,
yeah,
as well.
Of course we do. We
do. With the days.
We do.
Yeah.
But we needed to find something that we could do together.
Yeah.
that didn't involve eating and drinking, although we do still do a bit of that, obviously.
Well, that's life would be a bit boring if you didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
So what about you guys because you lost quite a lot of weight as well, haven't you?
Fair bit, yeah.
So when were you at your biggest, or what was that?
Spent most of my life working in building trade.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to exercise. I was sound. And then ended up getting a job in the warehouse when the recession hit in 2008. Put a fair bit of weight on.
Was that job easier, like insect less active?
Yeah, a lot less active. Put a bit of weight on. Hated working there. And then got another job in a production factory. Put even more weight on. And then got a office-based job. And then it just went mental. I went up to, I think it was about 27 stone, something like that.
Yeah.
And
Heart
attack on legs.
yeah, well, it's you're a tall guy anyway, aren't you? So
you've always carried it well, though, haven't you? You wouldn't.
You won't carry it for me, will we?
So were you kind of the same as Callie? So you didn't do much exercise, but then did you start changing your diet and stuff when Callie had it after a surgery and stuff?
Pretty much.
Has it always been? Because when I've noticed you two, you are you do everything, not all together, but you're really good.
We do though, don't we?
Was that always from the beginning?
Everything together. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Was that from the beginning? Like when you're like, right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change my diet. We let's do it together. Or did one just influence the other more?
Yeah, it's pretty much. You started it, didn't you? You said, I'm going to go down do these classes.
Like down the sand
I was like,
so
I'll stay at home and eat some beef monster munch.
Well, you did actually take me down, didn't you, and sit in the car watching me do your class on the sand or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I remember that.
I could do that. I could give that a go. And then when I realised the classes weren't all women.
Or legs, bums and tums.
Or legs, bums and tums. You said, I'll have a go at that.
You love a bit of legs and abs though, don't you, guys?
Yeah, you do legs and abs now, yeah.
You do enjoy it. But we still are a bit the same, aren't we? We're a bit either really good or really bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd say you're very consistent though. Every Tuesday, every Thursday.
Yeah.
Unless you're not very well.
Yeah. So we train.
No matter what.
And for exercise now, you are both very consistent, and I think that's because it's in the years it's become, now it's part of your life.
It definitely.
You didn't do, you'd be like, what am I going to do tonight, like kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
No,
so
we're in a good
we go
now.
at least 4 times a week. We do something, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, because you also go to other places, don't you? As well, you mix it up.
Yeah. We do. We go to
Varieties of spice of life.
The gym. Because we like the swimming, don't we?
Swimming,
Yeah,
running,
you love your
gym,
swimming.
and classes, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And walking.
But I think when your kids get older, so a lot of friends at work will say, how do you do it every night? But we're in a position now where the 2 eldest have left home, well, one's just returned. Gem's 14, so she doesn't bother with us at night, so once her tea's sorted. What we're going to do, get in from work, sit on our phones and watch TV every night.
And probably eat more.
And eat more. So
eat and drink
everyone's
more.
like, you're mad, you do something every night, but it's not really, it's less than an hour a night.
Yeah.
But then we still come in and sit on our phones and watch TV, but at least we've done something productive in the meantime.
I say to people, I think I was saying to you lot the other night when you're doing PT, like what people don't remember is not only are you going to the gym or doing some exercise or whatever, you're spending an hour not eating and drinking of your evening.
Well,
whereas if you're at home, you'd be eating a little bit more, drinking a bit more, probably
Definitely.
sitting watching another episode on Netflix or whatever. Which you do that anyway, but you spend less time doing that because you go to the gym.
We probably have our tea just before 8, don't we? So we're always sat down watching something at 9.
And we're in bed for 10 hours.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
So, do you know what your current weight is now? So, what is the kind of, how much have you lost, both of you?
Okay, so I weighed this morning. I think I'm like £2 off 10 stone again because I'd got down to 10 stone, bounced back up.
And was it 24?
Yeah.
So 14 stone in. I mean, that's been over.
No, I lost 10 stone, so like just under 15. I am now 14, 13,
Yeah.
something like that.
So, and that's a period of how many? So we've said 20.
5 years.
5 years.
10 stone over 5 years, that's a lot.
Yeah.
2 stone over.
But you've kind of, where you're at now, you've maintained
I
for a while.
bounced up and down within the same stone probably a good 12 months now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not married together, the food, the exercise, the steps and everything.
You're doing really well at the minute. You're on the challenge now, aren't you? You're doing very
well. I'm enjoying that.
But you've come a long way in, like, say, the 4 years that you lost the 10 stone.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem is like...
to keep the majority of it off has been... It's not easy by any stretch because now I haven't got the restriction that I used to have, so I could easily graze all day.
Yeah.
Easily. It's just big meals I struggle with.
But, like, the big, you've almost done the big change. I'm not saying, like, you get to the... People think, like, they lose the weight and then they get there and it's like, right, I'll go back to just getting pissed and eating all the time. Where actually you've changed all your life, done these little things, and they kind of have to stay in place if you want to maintain where you're at, don't they?
I wish I'd done the exercise from the off. That's the thing, but I can never change that now.
I suppose, it's just but you still...
the way we live now, isn't it?
But I suppose the exercise allows you to live and go out for meals and enjoy your life a bit more, because if it was just a diet, it'd be much harder to do that.
Still enjoy your Manchester all day, don't you?
Yeah, you go good drink and stuff, don't you?
Definitely.
So what was like what do you think was the worst when you were kind of at your worst? What was the worst habits, or what was the things that you just did then that you think, actually I don't do that anymore, that kind of made you get to that point, like get that big? Or what was the habits?
We used to just sit and eat, didn't we? Like at night, we'd have our tea. That was awful, because we'd have our tea and we'd cook the kids. Our kids are really slim, healthy, athletic, aren't they? Great figures on them. We've always had a really healthy, balanced meal, and we'd cook for them, and they'd go bed. Or we'd put pizza in the oven, or we'd order a takeaway if we had a bit of spare money, or we'd have snacks, wouldn't we, when they went bed, and that was like our treat.
And it's like your time as well.
And our time, so
well.
we'd had our tea, but then we'd be eating again, and it become a, bit. Oh, let's have our treats were like, oh, let's have a takeaway, let's have this. And looking back now, I think, we were killing each other, weren't we?
Was that just more often though? Because you still do them things now. You probably still enjoy having a takeaway. You enjoy going out. Was it just like an every night kind of thing? It was just.
If we could, most nights, like
one takeaways every night.
No, but you'd bring me like a cream cake or something.
Yeah, we'd always eat some type of crap one.
Yeah.
So if your diet now in terms of your choice of food, was it massively different? You think in terms of what you would choose, or was it just the amount?
I'd always eat something healthy-ish, because I'd always cook the kids as well. The tea. But then at night, Gaz would say he was on it, and it'd be late as well. So he would be on like shifts doing 2:10, and he would call Sainsbury's on his way home, or Asda, wouldn't you? On the way home from you. So it'd be 10:30 at night, and he'd come in with like a 2-pack of cream cakes, and I would eat them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I? And he would say, right, I'm putting a pizza in the oven at 10:30 at night.
So what do you do now
with 4 cans of beer as well.
Yeah,
because
he'd set he'd wind down then, because you weren't ready for bed, were you then? We just have our tea now, when we might have a little snack, but nothing like we used to.
So that's a massive change.
You do drink still, but you probably you'd probably drink at the weekends when you go out and stuff, don't you?
Have a couple at weekends.
You do,
or unless you're going on a bender, like we go.
Well, that's it. I'll have a couple Friday, couple Saturday, and a couple.
Yeah, so like your weekend.
Yeah, before it used to be at least 4 cans of Stella every night.
At least minimum, yeah. And that's again, a lot of calories coming from now, aren't you? So it's a big change.
I don't even know how we afforded it, but we did, didn't we? Just on the way home, you go, right, I'll bring you a treat home, and I'd be like, ooh, waiting, because I'd missed him like being at work, and I look back and think, oh God, we were just killing each other.
You do like 3 different gyms, don't you? Really, like
we were though, weren't we?
Expensive.
We were.
So your money that you were spending on food, you probably now spend on your gym memberships. It's quite a big chunk, isn't it?
It actually is,
we
do. Well, again, though, you do a lot of different stuff, and I think that's amazing, because a lot of people. But the thing is with like fitness, especially, people buy into one method. Even sometimes with me, people buy into like obviously the gym, but I still say to people, if you like doing this, go and do that, and go and do different stuff, because variety is the spice of life. With training, it can be boring, can't it?
Would you? And I think as much as we love coming to you, we wouldn't do it every single night all year, because you wouldn't have the same thing for tea. You haven't got a pool, and you haven't got a steam room.
You're working on it.
I'd love that. I said to you, didn't I, like, one of me, probably not for maybe as at the gym, but one of me kind of life goals is like one day to have a steam room inside my house. If I've got my own house one day, to like a sauna and a steam room, I'd love that. Just so I can do it in the morning and stuff like that before I got up. I'd love that. But having it in the gym, if I had my own gym, I'd just use it there as well if I had a steam room stored in the gym. But
you can't stand it for too long, can you?
Not like the heat.
No.
Well, people say to you, don't they, why'd you pay for a gym membership at M Club when you've got your own gym? And that's
But
why,
that's
because
the sauna and stuff like that.
yeah,
It just
because
makes
it's
you
not
feel
cheap
loads
at
better.
M Club, but you know, people are like, why are you doing that? That's nuts. You've got your own gym. Why are you paying for a different one? But it's the same thing.
Yeah, I
like,
think-
variety is the spice.
Also, for me, it's like, because we're at the gym, it's work. Even if I do sometimes train at the gym, but like, or I'll join in a class, or I'll train in the day when no one's there, but I'll end up going, I don't do that, and then start messing about and going, because I'm at work, it's like, it's that kind of, when I go another gym, I'm like this, I've got no work to do, I'm just training, and then I'll go the sauna and stuff, and it's like in lockdown where everyone's working from home, you're like working on your laptop in your bedroom, but then you try and go to sleep and you're like thinking about work. It's because the environment's the same, so I try and separate that. But I like to ask this, so this is something I ask most clients at some point. What was the turning point where you went, right, I'm gonna change now, and I'm gonna be serious about it, and I'm gonna do it properly? What was it, an event? Was it a series of events? Was it something that just flipped in your mind?
I think Facebook memories are a really good tool for me because they flash back to when I started having a bit of a regain, I was like, oh God, I can't go back to how I was. So we went to Florida, didn't we, with the family. My dad took us all the kids, all the grandkids, and I couldn't get on half the rides. But these memories kept flashing back up on, like there's so many years ago.
From when you couldn't get on the rides.
When I couldn't get on the rides, and I just thought I need to do something. So, obviously everywhere was shut with lockdown.
Yeah.
Come and try this or do this online thing, see how you go on. And it gave me a bit of a focus, and I was right into it, wasn't I? I was like, come on. And you were laughing, weren't you? I was prattling about with his band in the living room.
Was that?
And he was good. I mean, you were coming from work, weren't you? And we sat there just watching me,
You're whipped in the eye, like you did.
And that was it. I just thought, I'm really enjoying this now. And then it was just, I don't know, it just gave me that focus.
So what? Yeah, but like when you say, like, obviously you looked at the Facebook memories and you saw like the things you couldn't get on the roller coaster and stuff like that. Was there not a point where you thought, this I'm going to change now? Was there one event where you thought, do you know what I mean?
Saw the weight, even though I'd had a bypass and I'd got down to the lowest I'd been, weight was starting to creep on again because it's quite easily done.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to slide back there, so I needed to find something to motivate me again. So joining, I think it was a 7-day supercharge or something like that.
Yeah,
we did online.
yeah.
And I joined that, and I think that was it. From then on, I just got into it, didn't I? Then you started.
But you kind of, how much weight did you lose before that point, before even starting exercising and working with me and stuff like? Because you did lose quite a lot already, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'd gained probably almost 2 stone again before.
So you kind of lost some and then regained 2. So yeah. So how much
and that's off now.
Yeah.
So I'm on the right road.
So how much?
Definitely.
Can you remember how much it was just with the diet that you lost before training came into it? I know you say
Good 8 stone.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just
so that's really good. And then I think again, when you started the exercise, maybe that's like your habits are solidified now. So like you train 4 days a week, at least, sometimes more, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's like it's part of your lifestyle. But all the other benefits that have come from that. So other than the weight loss, what else has
100%.
changed since you
Even
started
though
exercising?
I've lost the weight, I wasn't strong. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't able to
You were just
do a
light
5K. I was just lighter.
Yeah.
I wasn't healthier by any stretch of the imagination. So even though I've only lost a couple of stone more, I'm a lot healthier.
Fitter.
I'm fitter. My mindset, because even though when you've had a bypass, you just eat little, but you can eat crap. But now, like, I eat healthy pretty much like 90% of the time.
You eat
don't I?
loads of good food, don't you?
Yeah, always putting your meals on.
And just the exercise now, I enjoy doing it, where before I think I would have found it a chore.
Yeah. So did you do any kind of exercise before that? Or did you try stuff in years
we'd go
before?
on walks, wouldn't we? I remember when I worked at Sainsbury's years ago, we did for sport relief.
Yeah,
we went
big
up
on
to
that.
Snowdon, but I was that heavy. I couldn't make it all the way. Can you remember that? And I came down and I was crying because I was so big. I think that was awful now. I was like, I've let so many people down. And
yeah, but was that's what I'm saying.
That's one thing I would like to do now, because we do a lot of walks, don't we?
Was that not a thing that went, okay, I need, because wherever, I always speak to clients about this, like, and ask them, like, what was it something that, like, it happened like that, so they got upset because they couldn't do something?
I think it's a combination of all those, so not getting on the roller coaster, not making Snowdon, like a combination of quite a few events that made you think, I need to change now. What made you have your bypass then? Was that a medical push or was that you?
I'd struggled just yo-yo dieting for years and years, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, and every time I'd lose a bit, I'd gain it and gain some more. So just fall back into a trap of eating too much and just...
Why do you think that was?
We thought we were enjoying our life because we thought, at night we were sitting, we were just comfortable, weren't we? Just eating, drinking. Yeah,
bottom line, it was shit.
It was. We were just, we thought we were happy because, always brought me a cake home and,
Well, food does make you get pleasure from food. It does make you happy short term, doesn't it?
When we look back
now,
life's great till you go upstairs, go for a piss and you're breathing through your...
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's it, isn't it? Too, ain't it?
But now we're a bit more... I don't know what the word...
Why do you think... So when you say like you yo-yo diet and stuff, why do you think you regained the weight in between all them yo-yo diets? So they did kind of work short term, didn't they? So you lost the weight, say you were doing some
got bored. I got bored and I needed to marry it in with something. So I needed to have something other than a diet. So it's like a whole lifestyle change.
Take your mind off the food.
Take your mind off the food.
Yeah.
So I think this is why the exercising. Because if I've been to a class at night, I'm not going to go in and have a chippy.
I think it puts you off eating a bit as well when you've exercised.
Because it gets you in that good.
Hungry,
you feel like you're making positive changes, and then
puts me in a positive.
But you still like yourself to have them treats.
That's the best thing about exercise, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just feel after you've done
so
it. Like
exactly.
If you've had a crap day.
So rather than getting the boost from like having a couple of cream cakes at night, you would go and do a class, and you're still getting a boost. It's a different kind of boost, but you're getting the release of endorphins and feeling good, and actually feeling good, but also knowing that you've done something good.
So mentally,
you've been productive,
it's quite positive as well, isn't it? Not just physically, it does both.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, if you have a bad day at work, you go to the gym. It doesn't blow all your troubles away, but it helps with it, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah. I feel loads.
I think they're the best. The days I always say to people, when you feel like shit and you don't. Obviously, if you're ill or something really bad's going on and you can't actually exercise, then you shouldn't. But like mentally, if you're not feeling great, usually you feel like you get the biggest difference in terms of how you feel. So do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you feel good, you go to the gym, you feel a little bit better. Sometimes you feel shit, you can go to the gym or exercise or whatever, and you can feel a lot better that day compared to how you just because maybe you're just having not a great time, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But
I was stressing a bit because if I'd have had to have had a hysterectomy a couple of days ago, I wouldn't have been able to exercise for 6 to 8 weeks, and that was a bigger fear than having the op.
Yeah,
I was more stressed about that, wasn't I?
Do you think that's a mental challenge then?
Definitely.
Would that be more than the physical side of it? More
not being able to
mental
move, and then I just kept thinking, well, if I'm just going to sit there and not do anything, what's I start picking? And I got that in my head, thinking,
and because you're not exercising as well.
That would be because it's like saying it's such a big part of our lives now. We do most nights. The thought of 6 to 8 weeks without doing anything, and I know because I know what we're like. You probably wouldn't have done much for 6 to 8 weeks either.
You'd be looking after
him. Well, probably, yeah. You'd be looking after him.
I'd be busy running around after you.
Definitely. But
would you say that exercising together has brought you closer as a couple? Because I look at you two, and we always say, don't you, like you're really quite a strong couple in our eyes. You get on really well. You know, you have a.
Yeah.
Would you say that having that pastime together has brought you closer in doing these things?
Yeah.
Sure.
I suppose. No, we do enjoy it, don't we?
Yeah.
We do have a lot.
When it's a common ground, like we're very similar, aren't we? In the fact that we enjoy training together. We don't do it very often because you're working and I'm probably at the gym. But
I also don't. I think we do because we don't do it very often.
Like
I think you do like I get these things that like couples train together, stay together. I don't always think like you don't do everything together. I think that'd be too much. Like
no, but in terms of fitness and having a hobby that is good for you. You know, sometimes you get these couples where one wants to get fit and the other one gets a bit jealous and goes against it and tries to put them off and doesn't want to do. But you two have very much had this move and motion together, haven't you? And said, right, then we'll both do it.
Definitely.
You know, I think maybe if you're feeling a bit tired one night, it might be Gaz saying, come on, Duck, we'll go, we can do it, we'll be feeling better, I'll make us a good call when we get home.
Do you think that makes it easier?
I think when we first started going together, I would always want to be with you, wouldn't I, at the classes?
Like a safe
I think it's a safety net and a confidence thing. But now, because he's so much stronger than me, sometimes I think, oh, please go with someone else because of the changing the weights and the changing the but
and you're comfortable going on your own.
I'm confident enough now to pair off with somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do miss you when you're not there. Like when you were off with your
Yeah,
back.
you really did. Didn't she? Did. She did. She come in and she said, "Oh,
it just feels weird not having you there."
Even though you don't necessarily do the class together, you might pair up with different people.
Yeah.
It's nice to come in and then leave together and know you've accomplished something together as well.
Yeah, we do.
Feel.
And again, you were sitting waiting in the car, weren't you, when you had a bad back and stuff?
Yeah, didn't leave her, did you? We said you could come in. We're like, oh no.
Yeah, but when we go normal gym, like the other gym, you'll be off doing something anyway, but always keep my eye out for you.
But you've got the confidence now. At first, it probably wouldn't have been together. Let's do this together. Stay
I would
together.
literally sit on the rower for a whole hour.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't dare move or even
I've got a really good one of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare. Like, I'd sort of go on the rower and it might have a little walk round. I might go on the cross trainer and then I go back to the row because I didn't have any confidence at all. So coming to the classes and learning new skills give me a bit more confidence to go.
So now you'll go over to the weights and stuff and on the machines.
And the PT that you get in with the F8 challenge, I always think the PT is amazing for learning how to use different pieces of equipment and giving you a bit of confidence because it's a smaller group.
Press ups.
You get that one-to-one.
Yeah. I think just a little few tweaks here and there, that's the I suppose the benefit of even the one-to-one or group training is like sometimes in a class environment it's still a massive group of people so you don't get that
it's a confidence
as much
thing.
Attention on you from me as a trainer, but like that's why people
but also on the flip side, people aren't focusing on you, are they? So you probably do feel a little bit better in terms of confidence because people aren't looking at you in a class, they're thinking, oh god, I need to do this, I need to get round. So when there is more people, you can sort of just do your own thing a little bit.
It's funny, isn't it, like when you brought your friend the other week and like everyone who comes at first thinks everyone's going to be staring at me, they're going to be looking at me. And there is some gyms where that does happen as well, so I'm not saying that doesn't, but like when you realise actually everyone's just out of breath and tired and thinking how many
everyone's concentrating on not dying.
Yeah, exactly. So no one's thinking, oh, looking at that person or whatever. I
think she'd seen the videos and she was like, oh, I really want to give it a go. And I was like, come on, just come.
You can come for free.
Yeah, just try it. And then she absolutely loves it now. She can't wait to come this week.
Yeah, and that's lovely, isn't it, when you get something that's good for you that you can look forward to and you can tune up at. I think is really nice. And also being able to go on this journey with your friends as well as your partner, I think
that makes
lovely.
It easier, doesn't it? If you know your mate's going and you think, actually I better, if I don't feel like it tonight, I'll go because my mate's going or my partner's going.
Might be a bit of a social occasion.
It's that accountability, isn't it, of going, I don't want to let that person down really and just say I can't be arsed, you know.
We got like that with Park Run, didn't we? We started that, meeting people down there every
and saying we'll see you next week.
See you next week. And it's like, oh, okay.
And then when you miss a week, were they a bit like, where were you last week?
Yeah.
So then you kind of had that pull then, don't you? You think, oh, I don't want to let them down because I haven't seen them for a couple of weeks now because they've been away or we've been away.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the gym, isn't it? If you've got friends then, even if you don't bring friends, you almost make friends. There's people that you both say hiya to, don't you? And
and you don't want them to
have a
because you
chat
do
with.
pair up. I was like, okay, I will come Wednesday because I don't want you to be on your own. I said to you, you could pair up with her, didn't I, Kirst?
Whatever you say.
It's more than a week ago that was. I can't remember that. So what was the if you were talking to someone now who was kind of in your position at the very start, what would be what if you could get someone to sit them down and say, look, I've been in your shoes, what advice would you give them?
Don't expect too much at first, and I would say just exercise, not go like classes every night, just something small from the very off.
Yeah.
Because those first 12 months after weight loss surgery are like the most important. And if you don't get your mind set right with exercise after that, it's
much harder.
And
doing
much
it
harder.
afterwards, yeah.
Do you think if you didn't start the exercise, you would probably revert back?
I wouldn't have been able to get this regain off. Not just with food alone. There's no way.
But in doing that, you've also prevented probably a larger regain, haven't you? Because you've kept your mind going, you've kept your body going. You know, it's become a big part of your life. Yeah. Do you think you would have gone all the way back to where you were before?
No, I wouldn't have let myself get that far back. But I could see, I'd already gained quite a little. You know,
so a quarter of what you'd lost.
Well, you become self-aware of that. Whereas before, you know, when you before you kind of started even maybe dieting and stuff like that, when you got to kind of the process of you getting to your biggest, were you aware that you were putting weight on, but you kind of ignored it a little bit?
Yeah, I suppose part of me, you had to be a certain weight, and I think I just gave up at that point. And then I was seeing a dietitian every week for about 18 months, wasn't I, going over to Stafford.
What kind of advice did they give you then, your dietitian?
I had to just lose a certain amount of weight before they would give me the surgery.
Did they give you any help on that, or
no? It was just basically like Slimming World, anything really.
That's kind of refer you. Sometimes there's like shake diets and stuff now that they do as well. But
they'd referred, actually the doctors were quite good because they'd refer me to the gym. You got a free
yes, they're good in bit off, aren't they?
I think it might have been 6 weeks or something like that. But I would literally just go to Zumba, but because I was that big, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you caught in a trap because you haven't got the confidence because you're so big to go and use it.
It's a cycle that you kind of trying to
and back then, like the Slimming World, it was you were told to, you could eat this much, you could eat that much, and like now I've re-educated myself. You can't eat that much.
Yeah,
you can't. You're not supposed to.
It is a dream to eat 10 bowls of pasta and stay slim.
Yeah, so that was how it was. So now I've re-educated myself.
I'd say you're very educated with your food as well. Like, I love watching all the different meals you come up with, or you're very good with your calorie tracking. And when we had an occasion, didn't we, when you had a buffet and we were chatting about it, and you sort of eyeballed a plate and you could sort of guess how many calories were on it.
You probably couldn't have done that 5 years ago. You wouldn't even know what was in it, would you?
And I wouldn't have. The thing is, I wasn't even prepared for that. After I had my surgery, no one tells you about calorie counting. Nothing, no one prepares you.
So do you think there's a bit of a gap in the NHS for that kind of 100%. Help and change?
Yeah, because they basically say, right, go Slimming World, lose a little bit of weight, and you can have your surgery. And you've got nothing. You'll see the dietitian, but it's only to help you to get that weight off for your surgery.
So they're dangling a bit of a carrot, really.
Yeah, there's nothing, there's no...
Hit this and you'll get that.
Once you've had your surgery, there's no follow-up with the dietitian. There's nothing, nobody telling you what you should be eating, except for always put your protein first. And then,
which is good.
Yeah,
advice,
put your protein first. So if you've got your chicken on your plate, get that first. Then eat whatever else is left.
But I think that's very vague. It's very vague, isn't it? So like, I think the problem is like, even when people use words like moderation and stuff like that, like it's okay me saying like put your protein first, but that's very vague. You could go, okay, this much chicken is that good, and there's no figure or amount to go.
Your moderation is different to my moderation.
What is enough, or what is the amount that maybe optimal or should be having, or whereas some people will think that much chicken, that's plenty of protein.
Have you ever weighed a recommended bowl of cereal?
It's tiny.
Yeah, it's like a microwave. But that's the thing, when nobody gives you numbers, so you might say, oh, this is a good amount of protein for me, and he's got 2 chicken breasts. And I might think, well, that's a good amount of protein for me. I might only have half a chicken breast. It's all subjective, isn't it, when you don't have a number to follow, so you don't actually weigh. But when you start weighing your food to begin with and measuring your calories, you realise, oh my goodness, I was eating 5 chicken breasts when actually that's 1,000 calories and I should probably only have 1 or 2, and you maybe don't realise, do you, until you educate yourself. And sometimes, like I said, when I first weighed a bowl of cereal, I was shocked. It was like a mouthful. By the time you put your dribble of milk on top, it wasn't even weird.
It's like, the thing is with tracking calories, a lot of people will either do it or do it for a little bit and then stop. And it's actually not about tracking calories, it's about learning about food. So in the same way you learn maths at school, you might not use most of that, but when you need to work out how much you're paying for something, then math skills come in something. And the same with tracking calories, you learn what's in food, and then when you go shopping or you have a buffet and you go, I can eyeball that and now know that's 600-ish.
Yeah, I know to keep our sense of the pies, then I'd probably go for the satay sticks or something.
You'll have to teach me how to do it. I literally do not.
You are terrible.
Anything.
This is why it's good for you to keep
your
exercise.
What do you think, because you do that and you're counting and going, right, this is the meal we're having, and probably choosing lower calorie, healthier options.
This might shock you now. We probably only eat 2 meals the same all week.
Yeah.
Gaz keeps all his own food.
Yeah.
I do a Sunday lunch, don't have for us. Yeah. And then maybe
a lot of veg.
Maybe like a breakfast.
So for you guys, do you think so you don't track and stuff, but as your diet choice and foods that you choose, has that changed a lot?
No.
Or has it just been the implementation of exercise?
Cut out the crap, like crisps.
Drink, as well, you said, was a lot less.
Drink a lot less, but
you do cook from fresh
meal-wise, I always cook fresh meals.
Yeah. And did you always do that before, though?
Yeah.
So for you, it was more the movement, like when you said you were a builder, you were moving a lot.
Yeah.
And the weight was never going on because your movement was so much. So now would you say you've more up your movement and down with your
exercise as well?
Yeah, definitely.
And just cut out snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
But drink is a big one. Like I've had
calories.
I have clients all the time, and I'm like, sometimes they'll like maybe miss it out of like MyFitnessPal. They're not tracking the drink, or they won't tell me, and I'll want to build up that relationship with them. They'll then start opening up to me about it, and then I'll be like, right, okay, and it's almost like they either. I think there's a little bit of maybe shame, which there shouldn't be about drinking if that's what you like doing and you like a drink at night time, whether it's full can.
There's no shame.
To be honest, it's mostly parents, not all, but mostly parents, especially the ones that drink in the week or not. I'm not saying they're alcoholics, but they'll have a couple. They'll have where it's a glass of wine or a bottle of wine or a few beers at night, and it's mostly parents. And it's like sometimes because you're drinking, you don't realise actually all these calories in this drink, and because it's not filling you up, it's not a meal. You don't see it as a meal, like so. Again, the education of knowing that it's
500 odd calories in a bottle of wine. So I think if you sink a bottle of wine every night after your tea, that's like another meal, isn't it? And you're not realising. You're thinking, oh, I'll be all right.
I used to say just when you'd done that late shift, it just helped you to chill.
Yeah, wind down.
Wind down.
Well, you're in a similar position, aren't you? When you work all day, your job's quite intense. You come home at 8:30. And what do you do to wind down? Because you're wired, aren't you? You're supposed to be going to sleep, but you're like,
that was
my mind's going on overdrive. So 10:30.
You can't just go get in bed and go sleep straight away unless you're like a psychopath. You know, unless you're a bit weird and you can just. I can't just edit the pillow and go sleep. I need something to shut my brain off a little bit and like dial down. Yeah, whether it's watching programs or reading or whatever.
I get in and I'm like, I'm tired. That's it. Gone.
Unless you're exhausted, like you're physically exhausted, then it's the pillow, and then. So
I think the gym helps with sleep though, doesn't it? I suppose if you go in the gym, it helps wind down from work if
you're actually physically tired.
Yeah,
I remember
you can switch off.
Before I did PT, and I was working in a betting shop, and it was you're working with numbers all day, so mentally it's tiring, but you're sitting at a desk.
Yeah, you're not really
and at the time, I was working a few more hours than I do now. I was working a lot of hours, so I wasn't going to the gym as much. Probably was going, but it was a bit more inconsistent. There was a McDonald's next door, so I got into a habit of like. The main thing was when I get in, I noticed my sleep was like my brain was like wanting to go to sleep, but my body hadn't done much, so I wasn't physically tired, even though I was mentally tired. So it was a weird one. I think definitely like going and exercising helps me rest.
That's why I like doing it after work. Like some people are proper morning people, and some people at work I just bow down to because I can't get up at 6 and go to the gym. It's not for me. I think I did it a couple of times when we had a friend's wedding abroad. I was starving by like 9:30.
I enjoyed it when the gym was open around the corner at 6 in the morning. I mean, it's open at 8 now, so scuppered those plans. I didn't mind because I'm good in the morning. I can get straight up.
Whereas
I'm envious.
You have a slip disc on.
Yeah, it takes you a warm up. Yeah.
I'm envious of people who can get up and just do that.
And bounce out of bed.
Yeah, I need a good half an hour just coming round.
Got to have a coffee first thing before I leave the house.
Well, then come 9:30, I'm ready like, I'm shattered. Yeah. And you're still like pretty much wide awake, aren't you?
I come alive at night time.
Yeah, you're like that, aren't you?
I think that comes from working evenings a lot though, and after being alert for like working with clients in classes and stuff.
Well, maybe that's you.
Yeah, because you work late shifts.
So your body clock gets into that routine of going, right, now's the time to wake up and be alert and get stuff done. In the morning, you can be a bit
we've got a woman at work. She says I'm in bed for 8 o'clock every night, but I get up.
I think as you get older, you start getting bed earlier. Most people,
she'll go up at 5 and she might go on a walk in the morning. She'll walk the dog before work, and then she gets all this stuff done. She does all the washing, all this stuff before she goes to work, and then she's in work early as well. But she says I am always in bed for 8 o'clock because she gets up at 5. So her morning
actually, she's probably still having the same 8 hours that you would going from bed at 11 and getting up at 7.
Yeah, I'll be up at 3.
Yeah, I would.
It's not for me. I like night time, but yeah, everyone's different, aren't they?
So what is if you were both this is to both of you, what has been the hardest things to in terms of where you were at when you were at your biggest, your 24 stone? What has been the hardest things that you've had to change? Because you said exercise, actually that now it's easy because other than struggling with confidence, actually now you really enjoy it and it's part of your lifestyle. What has been the hardest thing that you thought, that's really been hard for me to change? Or at first it was hard and now it's not?
For me, it hasn't really been hard.
Yeah.
So I haven't really... The only thing that's changed really is the amount of exercise that I now do and I've been doing.
And you enjoy that, you love it, don't you?
Love it.
You're quite
love
competitive
it,
and stuff, aren't you?
The benefits you get from
Yeah.
it.
And you cut down the drink to just weekends.
The stress
Yeah, but
relief
I
and
haven't
stuff.
found that difficult.
No.
I haven't struggled with it, I just did
Do you
it.
think as well, like, I notice this as well with people, is like, again, going to the gym or whatever it is, you're doing something different that isn't going in and drinking. And also you think, well, if I drink tonight, I might feel rough tomorrow, so I won't feel like going to the gym. And because you look
We've done that
forward
many
to doing
times, haven't we?
that.
Like on a Friday when we were doing park run, we'd say, "Oh, I don't really want a drink." You'd
Well,
say,
I haven't. Well,
"No, you don't actually. It's
I've
okay.
had
You can
nights
focus
before,
on it."
but I've
You can
seriously
get up.
got it in my head where, with running wise, I always seem to run a personal best
When you get home.
after.
Hungover.
Yeah,
I've known,
yeah.
a lot of
After
people
I'd had a
say
drink
that.
at the curry.
Where
And I actually sort of started believing in myself like, well, if I want to get a personal best, I'll
I
have
better
a
get
drink.
drunk. Yeah. Associate
Where I
with
would
that,
say,
yeah.
no, I'm definitely not drinking tonight because I've got to be up tomorrow. I've got to do this. So I totally function. That's what I mean. We are completely different, but
In a
the
lot of
same.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same. I don't know what I found hard. I think because it's been such our way of life. I don't know if.
Do you think it's hard to remember that? That long time
honestly,
ago?
it is now, and I can't see. I can't even see where the change came. It could because it's become that much of our routine now.
And it's gradual, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not just a sudden bam. You've done these things over a long period of time. You've changed a little bit by little bit, and now you've come a long way.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah, man, yeah.
We've done all right.
We've done all right.
That's why we want to get you on here, because it's inspiring. Like both of your journeys, what you've done together.
But
I think.
we genuinely enjoy it. It's not like a chore at all. It's like, right, we know what we're doing every day of the week, don't we?
Yeah.
And like at weekend we might go for a walk.
That routine is good,
It's a
isn't it?
complete
Also?
routine.
Were you quite structured before? Did you because some people? So before, did you have your week planned out for the most part, or now is it you're more
It's been
vigilant
this past
with that?
couple of years because we obviously you book things, don't you? Book things in advance, so
Yeah.
you've got that structure there. But no, before we maybe go out
Take
and
the
walk
day
at
by
weekend or
every-
something,
Yeah.
but we wouldn't have anything in place. But it just becomes the norm to have something prepared for tea, something like for Jem or not for
Yeah.
you,
That's what
not
I
for
mean.
you.
I've got
You're
no
not
structure
terrible.
neither. I'm
You've
like
got no
really
structure.
just.
The job that I'm
Is doing that
one
because
that
of
does
work
that.
and stuff?
Sorry?
Like structured work and stuff is at different times, because I think that with like my day time, average day is different. So I haven't got like a start time, finish time, because every day is a little bit different. So in terms of what time I eat and stuff like that, it can be this time, then that time. So I don't really, like, every day's a little bit thrown out, but I get used to the instability of not a regular tea time, for example. I don't sit down and eat tea at 5
I've
o'clock
got
every
a
night.
structure.
You
but
have,
my
haven't you?
structure's terrible, isn't it? So
Oh,
I wake
yes.
up in the morning, have nothing eat until probably about 12, 1 o'clock at dinner. And
Yeah.
then I'll have a bag of crisps at work. And then I'll eat nothing until we get back from the gym. And then
He has
I'll
enough.
have like a meal that would feed
So you have a lot, all
family
your
of
calories,
6
kind of.
at about
Yeah, yeah.
8 o'clock
Yeah.
You do though.
every day. And
But
Is that because you're busy and you're doing stuff in the day, so you haven't really got
Yeah,
time for food? There's a
yeah.
lot of people that are like that.
But I plan my meals and I'll go to the supermarket and buy stuff in to make my meals and for Jem for the next few days. You don't. We go to the supermarket together and
Do you have what you fancy?
you literally just on the day will go to the supermarket again and buy
Madras.
stuff for one night. You're just not very
I'm a little bit like that.
organised, are you?
I plan like 2-3 days in advance for my food sometimes. I probably should do like a week. I haven't actually got a freezer, that's probably one of the reasons,
Yeah.
but I don't really ever do like a weekly shop. And be like, even though actually I say to my clients, it's a good idea to plan ahead, I probably plan 2-3 days ahead, but again, I think because every day my structure's different, like I'll
You
eat
just
tea
decide on the
late
day.
or
Yeah,
eat tea
yeah.
early or... Yeah, I think it's a man
Literally
thing
just-
maybe, I don't know.
like I'll go with, like you said, we'll
do
go
it
together, do the weekly shop, put all the stuff in for the kids and yourself, and I'll put nothing in there. And the next day I'll
Then you'll go on
think
your-
about what I want from my
Nip
kids.
down Aldi on your way
get
from the
it,
gym.
yeah.
a free night on the way back from yours.
It is funny. When I sometimes go Aldi after the gym, you get out and there's like 4 or 5 people
Yeah.
in the class. They've all like
Yeah,
gone to
to go and
Aldi
get a tea.
afterwards. It is so
We
funny.
always see Sam.
So was there? I was talking to another client about this the other week, and she was saying, like, we were talking about when we said that as a moment when you kind of change. But was there a moment when you realised actually this is kind of my life now? You know, when people say the cheesy things like, oh, it's a lifestyle. It is, and it is true. But was there a moment when you went, this is something that I do now, and you realised that actually, because she was saying, the other client was saying, actually I realised that I'm not chasing that quick short-term thing anymore. I love the exercise and this has become part of my life and I'm enjoying it. And this is just how it is now. Kind of that kind of thing. Because it is part of your life. But was there a realisation of that as it just kind of happened, evolved?
It's just evolved. And I don't even know when. We just became part.
Yeah, you turned up some Tuesdays and Thursdays and you've not left yet.
Yeah, we've tried the other classes as well.
Yeah,
but it became Tuesday, Thursday, obviously with me joining the F8, but because I'm doing that, you've been coming more.
Yeah.
Because it's pointless driving all the way to Tunstall just for when I'm doing that. So you've been joining in on a Monday and a Friday and a Wednesday and what have you as well, haven't you?
Yeah, you both come the new class, didn't you?
Yeah,
well, there's been a couple, haven't there, new ones? So.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
They're different as well, aren't they? I think when you do a Tuesday and a Thursday, they're very similar classes, but different sort of body parts. But when you're doing the Wednesday and the Friday, they are very different in comparison. So it's nice to have a bit of a change.
The classes are just totally different to anything that I've been before, because where you don't all have a mat, you like say hips, bums and tums or zumba.
You'd all be doing the same thing.
You'd all be doing the same thing following. So I've not got great coordination. They'd be going one way, I'd be going the other, and it was more of mums gossiping together kind of. It wasn't really, they weren't there for the
some
fitness,
people like
they were more
that,
for the social side,
which is alright,
which is fine. But I think coming to these classes, you're improving yourself, and you know you've done them.
I think as well, like
they tailor for male and female and old and young and whatever size you are, aren't they? So
I think the difference is with like rather than like me standing up at the front and doing stuff and you copying that style, like a Zumba kind of, or there is still them style of classes, but actually I will go, right, these are the stations, these are the exercises, what you do, and once you've done it a few times you get used to them, so you get that level of independence. So actually, once you've been doing it for a few months, take me out of the room and you still be able to do it.
Whereas just stick a timer on, you'd be able to go round and out.
You probably wouldn't, because I'm not there and you think, let's just go out. But what I'm saying is you've got the ability and the skills to do it, whereas if you're just copying someone, doing what they say, in terms of mirroring them, you're not really using much equipment, and if you ever do go to the gym on yourself, then you're developing those skills to
because
train
the things you do in class that I wouldn't go to the gym and do. I wouldn't just go to the gym, lie on my back and start doing star crunches. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't even do planks. You wouldn't do that, would you? Wouldn't just rock up, get your mat down and do it in the middle of the gym. So those things. But
you would be able to go and get the bar and do some shoulder pressing because you've done shoulder pressing and stuff like that, and go on different machines that you've used. I mean, they're all similar machines in gyms, aren't they? But they're not exactly the same. But you've got the confidence to go, I've used this, I know how it works, I know the movement. Whereas that just gives you that, like I say, that confidence to do it, doesn't it?
You definitely do things we wouldn't normally do.
I think that's a big part of my job, really, is like a lot of people have got an idea about what they want to do in terms of the exercise and go, I think this is right, but I need someone to tell me it's right, and then I can be confident in me and the ability to do it. And that's any job of a coach, really, is to go, tweak this, do that, this is right, you're not going to hurt yourself. Now we're going to try and get some, get better or get stronger because you're doing it safely and stuff like that. But then I like to give people that confidence. So I would like to think if all my clients, whether you do the classes or the personal training, I want to give you the skills so you can go and do that on yourself, whether you carry on working with me or not. That if I put you in a gym, you go, I can go and use that stuff, and being confident in the fact that I can, rather than just going in and going, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what this machine is. I don't know what, and it's all been very overwhelming because it is, isn't it? And some gyms, it's the massive and different environments, stuff like that. So, just a closing point. I know I kind of asked you this already, but again, I'm gonna ask you because we kind of did say a point. But if you could sit someone down in your situation now, what other advice, if any, both of you is this, would you give them in that situation? If someone was there, if someone's listening to this now, and they're really overweight and they're really struggling and they're in a similar situation you were 4 or 5 years ago, if you could sit them down, what would you say?
Just start somewhere. Just take that first step. Even if it's just a walk around the block or just go speak to somebody, just do something.
Start the gym.
Just start. Don't leave it any longer, because you get more depressed and you start eating more and then you don't want to go out. You just need to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you have any advice for breaking the cycle? Any tips?
Just be brave. Just look for something online, or I don't know.
Just do something.
Just do something.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how big it is, or you don't have to sign up for a marathon. Anything. Just do something. Whether it's
just set yourself small goals
small
as well.
goals, definitely.
So like if you're doing couch to 5k or something like that.
Yeah, and even
get to 5k.
Even if it's on something on your
Start.
own and you're not stepping into a big gym for the
Yeah.
first time with loads of people, you're doing something on your own, or you're doing something with a friend, or I think people, they often we've got from go to one extreme from doing nothing to going in a busy gym where I'm overwhelmed and scared, and actually there's little stepping stones that you can do and go out, do a workout on YouTube in your living room,
Yeah,
or
no
you
one
can
can see you and
go out with
There's
a friend.
There's
or
loads of stuff, but I think until you take that first step, you always think you're the only one. Oh, like, I'm massive. I don't go. Everyone's going to look at me. But until you actually take a step and go somewhere, you won't realise that you're not on your own. There's other people there.
Do you know what
that
I
feel
think?
just as
And
scared
like
as
I
you.
said earlier, 99% of people don't give a toss.
About what you're doing,
They really
I
aren't
also
interested
think
in
the
what
two
you're
girls
doing.
are what they're doing, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's it.
Is amazing for that. So you document your journey on Instagram, don't you?
Oh, we always laugh at
and
that.
I think that's amazing because
Don't you? You always say, "Oh, your journey."
you know, you've said you're not the
But
only
it is a
one out there.
private group. It's like, if you're interested, yeah, you can join. But obviously, I don't put it out there for
Yeah.
everybody. It's just my
I think
private
that's
group on my
nice to
journey
see
because I
that
can look.
You're not the only one out there who's in this position, and you've put
Yeah.
yourself out there and said, look, if you're struggling, this is me,
Yeah.
this is what I've been through, and this is what I do now, and you
That's
can
what I
do
mean.
it
I
as
keep
well.
it private
I
because I
think
think
that's amazing.
I don't want to shove it down people's faces like, oh, look, I've done this, I've done this,
Yeah,
well,
like,
I've done
you don't
that.
want to seem like
so
you're
it's
showing
like,
off.
so right,
and
okay,
everything.
so it's a private group. If you're interested, yeah,
Come in.
come in.
I
But if
think
you're not,
social
I'm not
media is that
bothered,
though,
so-
isn't
Yeah,
it?
you're not
you
just
do.
going to pop up.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
problem
but I
is
think
you'll get
that's
some
the
people who will see it
Lovely.
and then feel like they need to have an opinion on it, when actually if it's not for you, just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the Ricky
so that's why I
Gervais
keep,
thing, it's like
People
Keep it
like me,
private.
I love scrolling through your teas and
See
seeing
what I've
what
got.
you've been
you
doing.
what you won't realise is, like, I think the thing is with what I realise with social media is a lot of people are like that in secret, like, sneaky watching, but they won't like and
I'm
comment
a
on
snoopper.
stuff. And it's because you maybe just forgetting you're empty scrolling, but actually you probably are some people that you've thought, do you know what, I'm really inspired by that.
I
whether
do get
it is
people
sharing your
message. I've
journey
had
or
people message me many a time that'll say,
I
oh,
have as
thank
well, to
you,
be fair.
thank you, haven't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
see?
So,
I think even if it's just a meal that you've inspired someone to try, and that's kick-started it, and I think,
I get a lot of
it's
people
lovely.
saying like, I don't know how you two do it. I don't know how you do it all the time, but like I say, it becomes just part. It's only an hour a night.
Yeah.
If we do something every night, sometimes we miss, don't we?
But you do it together, and I think that's really nice.
Get everything out of it, what you put in, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's the answer, isn't it? Like people say, I don't know how. The question that, like, when people say, I don't know how you do it, you say, well, just do it.
We just do it, like.
And then
we don't,
you've got
we
the
don't
thing
even
is you-
think about it anymore. We
Because
just-
it's such a part of your life
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's
And the
ingrained.
benefits you get from it as well.
And you enjoy it, like obviously
Yeah.
you say you
Oh,
enjoy the
that
exercise.
helps.
I think the problem is if you're doing something that you don't enjoy or you don't like, then it's a different story and probably
Yeah.
try something else. But and there is that many things out there now you can try. I suppose sometimes maybe it's a little bit of luck that maybe you started with us and you liked it, or you do loads of different things and you like it. But actually, it's
I think
not
it's
because you
because
put
it's
yourselves in them
different.
environments, didn't you?
Yeah, it's
And you would have
totally
never known
different.
if you didn't. Do you know what I mean? People think that they won't like, and actually, unless they go and put themselves there, they won't ever know.
No.
And they might not, but then they might go somewhere else and like it. And I think that's the problem is, like you were saying, is just do
Just
something.
start, because
It
unless
might not
you-
be that exact thing that might solve all your problems,
Yeah.
but then the next thing might be, or it might
Somebody
lead
might
on
come
to
to
something.
yours and like say a Monday and they go, oh, I don't like circuits. Try another day.
Yeah,
Because there's
or
always
another
something
gym.
different to
or,
go
yeah,
on.
whatever.
Just start. Because sitting at home doing nothing is just going to make you spiral out of control. That's what happened with us.
Yeah, I was talking to again. I was talking to another client the other week, and you remember what's it called now? Austin Powers, and you've got Fat Bastard, and we were having a joke about that, but he was saying actually there's a ring of truth of when Fat Bastard. There's a bit where he says like, I eat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I eat,
Yeah.
and that cycle needs to just be broken by just doing something. And when you do, things you can end up. You don't know where you'll be in 5 years, like you two are now. Do you know what I mean? Or you just have to take that first step, which is usually hard, isn't it? But I think you two being on here today has shown that you can do that, and you never know where you'll be in 4 or 5 years'
that's
time.
it. We're just going. We're on the right road, aren't we?
I think so, yeah.
Every day as it comes, eh? Definitely,
Yeah.
and just a bit fab.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it there. Thank you both very much. I was
You're
really, really
welcome,
enjoyed
mate.
that.
Welcome.
And I think people will listen to this. I genuinely do. I've not got loads of listeners right now. But I think one person, or even if one person listens to this and goes, do you know what? I'm really inspired by that. I'm going to do something. Then I think
Get off your arse, just stop being bonard.
there you go. Take it from Gaz. Thank you very much.
Come join us.
And we will see you soon.